Welcome to So You Think You Want to Be a Writer. My name is Janine Walker, and I'm the moderator for today's program. And I'm just sort of the person, the go-to person. We want to welcome you to So You Think You Want to Be a Writer, and our panel of authors is here to dispel some of the myths and mysteries about publishing commercial fiction. First, a little bit about our group. We're Diamond State Romance Authors. It's a chapter of the Romance Writers of America, which we'll call it RWA. And it's a nonprofit professional writers association with membership of more than 10,000 strong. It's a fabulous resource for publishing, craft, and networking, and RWA is open to both published and unpublished authors. Our local group is close-knit and supportive of all publishing efforts by our members. We welcome what we call fresh blood and new members in all stages of their writing career. And I can attest to that because I'm like the newest, the most inexperienced writer of them all.
We're just starting.
They took me in. Welcome. Hi.
It's all right. We just started.
We just started. Let me give them.
They have.
The papers on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Just work on everybody coming all the things they need. Now let me introduce you to our panel. This is Shayla Kirsten. She masquerades as an accountant by day, but at night she pens sexy romances. Although a native Arkansan, Shayla's adventures in the Army, then 15 years in New York City, helped feed her life into characters, and she lives in the back of Beyond in Central Arkansas with 5 cats and a dog. And then next to her is Delilah Devlin. She's an award-winning author with a rapidly expanding reputation for writing deliciously edgy stories with complex characters. She's published Vampires with Avon, Cowboys with Kensington, and now Vikings for Berkeley. In addition, she's EPUB'd with Aloris Cave, Sam Hain, and now self-published through Kindle. In total, she's sold over about 80 stories. And next to her is Elle James, who has more than just one name. She's also known as Miley Jackson in some of her stories.
2 pen names.
Yes. Elle spent 20 years living in Lebanon, South Texas, ranching horses, cattle, goats, ostriches, and emus. A former IT professional, Elle is proud to be writing full-time, penning intrigues and paranormal adventures that keep her readers on the edge of their seats. Now living in Northwest Arkansas, she isn't wrangling cattle. She's wrangling her muses, Maltipoo and a Yorkie. And when she's not at her computer, she's traveling out snow skiing, boating, or riding her ATV, dreaming up new stories. And she comes up with lots of good ones. And I also wanted to let you know that the ladies on the side there are members of the Diamond State Romance Office, and feel free to ask them anything you wish. A lot of them have a wealth of information and experiences behind them as well. So welcome.
We have snacks and water and coffee thanks to the library, which Alan, the artist, is our today.
And we have a table of books in the back. When we're done here, you guys can have yourself too.
And we encourage that. We don't want to take those books home.
Pardon?
We don't want to take those books home.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Right. Please take them.
Everything you want.
Please take them so that we don't have to haul back.
And you should have a handout and a little piece of paper for the drawing on the table in front of you. If you don't, please let us know. Make sure that you fill out the drawing, because we will be drawing for a Kindle and a Nook, and 2 Barnes & Noble gift cards later at the end of the program.
I'm doing the bad thing.
Santa.
Just call me and spell it.
All right. So, you think you want to be a writer? Who wants to be a writer?
What?
I want to be a writer.
I do.
Unfortunately, I sobered up.
I'm sobered up. Unfortunately, we're sobered up. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Delilah, in case you guys don't know, is also my sister. If you don't see the resemblance, the chubby cheeks and blonde.
The double chin.
Well, that's we're related.
We started writing. But you're not as blonde anymore. we started writing about 11 years ago now, right? 11 years ago. And one of the very first seminars we went to, a woman got up and said, okay, why do you want to be a writer? And if you're in it for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason. And now, it's nice to make money, but you're in it for the wrong reason. You need to start where you're loving it. Because if you're not loving it, it sometimes takes years to get to the money. So you gotta love it. It's like teaching, you know. If you don't love it, you don't need to be there. But if you're writing because you love it, you're in the right place. And it comes from the heart, and that's where you want it to come from. So who is a writer? Well, anybody who can put a pen to paper or fingers to the keyboard, you're a writer. Now, if you want to get serious about it and get published, that takes a little more perseverance. And
it's not something that requires a degree. There are plenty of people who never even graduated high school who are writing. So you do have skills that you have to learn along the way.
And a lot of times, and I'm not dissing getting a college education, by no means, I have one. But a lot of times when you take classes in college on creative writing, they're going more for literary fiction, which there's a huge difference between literary and genre fiction.
And we're talking genre and commercial fiction.
Commercial fiction, right?
Back to narrative.
Commercial fiction. Sure. And so don't get bogged down in what is, fiction, is it literary fiction, is it commercial fiction. If you want to tell a story, put it down on paper. There's a place for it. You just got to know where to look. So we're hoping that we can, shed some light on that and maybe get you aimed in the right direction if you're looking to publish. And shall we move on down the?
Sure.
Who do you write about?
Oh, and plus, this is real informal. We're gonna talk over each other. There'll probably be some heckling from the side or two. And if you have any questions along the way, just raise your hand. This is going to be a discussion.
She's supposed to be watching for hands. She's our moderator, so she's supposed to be watching for hands. So if we don't see you, she should. But who do you write about? Okay. A lot of people will tell you, write what you know. Well, I don't know very many vampires. Okay. Let's see. She's done vampires. She's done werewolves. I mean,
Vikings in space. I don't know any Vikings in space.
I mean, she's never even been to space. She's in spacey sometimes. But
I wrote about the Alaskan Iditarod. I've never been to Alaska, but I did research.
So you write what you know. Guess what? That's what Google and
The part about the write
research
what
is
you
all
know that's really, really, really important is the emotions.
right.
Write what you know about the emotions, because those are universal. I don't care if
and that's what has to be authentic.
and if the reader can relate to the emotions, and you write what you know in your emotions. You have life experiences. You've had tragedies. You've had, you write your emotions, and that's what the readers are going to get out of your stories.
And if you have to know things like, I had to do a vampire where she's waking up in the morgue, not in the morgue, but in the mortuary house, getting prepared for a funeral. And I had to know what kind of scars she had from the process, right? And so I called up the local mortician, and he was thrilled to have somebody come out and talk to me. Another time I had to write about a woman who did cave rescues because she was going down into a cave and meeting this ghost of something, this ghost and this cougar in this cave was ridiculous. But anyway, I had her going, using all these ropes and things, and I did rappelling when I was in ROTC because I was, ex-Army, all that stuff. And but it's been a long time, and I don't know the jargon and all the what's-its that they use, for the cave rescues.
She still doesn't know.
I still don't know.
Well, she got it right in the book.
I called the fire department, and they ended up routing me to this guy who did cave rescues. And I tell you, people love to talk about their work. So if you can find somebody, a cop, a fireman, a
paramedic, doctor,
a psychic, they all love to talk about what they do. So write what you know, well, you can learn.
We even had